Ladies and gentlemen, he's a child of God, a husband, NRA conservative, radical right-wing supervillain, and Twitter rock star. American by birth, Texan by choice, and a badass by nature. He's the owner of TomO'Halloran.com, O'HalloranMedia.com, and PatriotRadio.net. Please welcome Tom O'Halloran.
There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Patriot Radio with Tom O'Halloran, and I am your host, the same Tom O'Halloran. I'm broadcasting tonight from underground bunker deep in Arkansas, Nebraska. And I'm here to educate, irritate, and agitate. And folks, I promise you, you will be agitated by the time we're done today. Note to my board op, Carlos, my video is messed. Thank you. If you'd like to join the conversation tonight, please call 888-909-1050. If you'd like to listen to the live stream, watch the live stream video, or chat in the chat room, it's all available at patriotradioshow.com. Again, my name's Tom O'Halloran. On Twitter, I'm TPO_hisself. My main blog is TomO'Halloran.com. When you get there, be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Spreaker, and any other social media you fancy. Also, while there, please follow my editor, Veronica Coffin. Veronica does most of the blog posting to 14 blogs now. And without her doing that, I couldn't do this. Veronica, I treasure you. Thank you, dear. You'll find Veronica's follow button at the bottom of each and every blog post. We've launched our Facebook page. I appreciate you going to facebook.com/Patriot Radio Show and liking it there as well. I'm on air 3 nights a week, so be sure to catch Patriot Radio with Tom O'Halloran every Tuesday and Wednesday. On Fridays, I do it differently. I do something special for you. I do Jihad on America. Same time, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But Jihad on America, I uncover the Islamists in America, who they are, what they want, and why you should be afraid. Each week, we continue pulling back the mask of Islam, looking at what's being done in the name of Allah. And I do that both here and abroad. I do the news of Islam abroad because it's a look into the future of America as Islam grows here in the homeland, as the cancer of Islam, shall we say. If you did not catch my show on the Muslim Brotherhood or my show Islam is Not a Religion, please go to PatriotRadioshow.com and watch all the archive shows, but especially those two. They will inform you, they will open your eyes, and you will never listen to anybody talk about Islam, Muslims, or Sharia and think the same way you've been thinking. It also will give you a solid foundation upon which we build each and every Friday on Jihad on America. We're going to start tonight the way we start each and every Tuesday and Wednesday. We start by going through a list of treasonable offenses by Barack Hussein Obama. The list has, there are about 340 treasonable offenses, and we've been reading 5 of them each show as we work our way through it. Barack betrays Israel. A secret base was revealed. Israel had set up a secret base, and Obama had released the information on where it was at. Obama and Holder secretly and illegally wiretapped and snooped on Americans' cell phones, emails, and with the covert Prisma project. The destruction of NASA from the inside. Obama lets Chinese spies steal top-secret weapons technology. Obama's disarming of America, more treason. Obama and Putin signed a new deal on reducing nuclear threat. And after they signed that, and he reduced our nuclear missile capability by 30%, with Putin only having to reduce his by a fraction of that, Obama went and did another agreement whereby he unilaterally gave up another 30%, with Russia giving up nothing. This man is a master negotiator. And what else? How many times has he been guilty of this? Violating his oath of office, wherein he had to say, I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States, and I will do so to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Hundreds, if not thousands of times, this man has failed his oath of office. And for that alone, he should not just be forced from office, but he should be driven into the sea with the snakes. Next up, the same Barack Hussein Obama is always telling us how wonderful it is to be able to open our doors and allow these undocumented workers into our country. They're not undocumented workers, you pinhead. They're illegal aliens, many of them hardened criminals. And to share with you this information so that you're not confused or deluded by this dirtbag that is trying to destroy America, each week we read through 5 of these people that have come into our country for wrong reasons. They have done heinous crimes. We'll start with Jean-Claude Kojo Twive, a Togolese from Togo. He was sentenced in Michigan to 135 months on a conviction for human trafficking. Gene Brown, a Jamaican, received a life sentence in Maryland for murder in aid of racketeering in connection with a conspiracy to distribute marijuana. Dante Reyes, a Mexican illegal alien, pled guilty in Indiana and was sentenced in Illinois for racketeering conspiracy relating to participation in the Latin Kings gang. These are just nice guys, aren't they? Daniel Ignacio, a Guatemalan illegal, was found guilty of murder, arson, and assault by torching of a tenement building that killed 5. He faces imprisonment for 25 to life. William Jesus Mena, a Honduran, pled guilty in Louisiana to illegal re-entry after deportation following a conviction for child molestation. He faces a sentence up to 20 years. Now, it's one thing, we catch these guys, these have been sentenced to prison, but let's not forget that Barack Hussein Obama just released 16,000 illegal aliens from our prisons, many of them guilty of the same types of crimes: murder, sex trafficking, human trafficking, robbery, arson. These are the types of people that are finding their way into our country. Not the benign Jose and Maria that want to come up and pick strawberries. Don't fall for Obama's con game. America's fallen for him long enough. Well, in the what could possibly go wrong category, with our southern border completely open, as you guys know, you've been listening to me for months, Obama has pulled all of the border patrol, border, as in border, the line, the dividing line. You can step over it. The border is about an inch wide. It's a half an inch wide. It's a very finite definition. But he's moved the border patrol 70 miles inland. He has conceded 70 miles times, what, 1,500 miles? Giving up thousands and thousands of acres to the illegal aliens, the ISIS fighters, to any terrorist that wants to come across the border. Now, having reminded you of how open our borders are, it has just been released from a secret document. It was leaked, by the way. There are 11 missing Libyan airliners. Now, an airliner goes down from time to time. We saw that with the Malaysian thing. We still don't know the truth. Did the Muslim that was the pilot, did he crash it and kill everybody? Well, we should have seen some wreckage, but maybe not. Is it sitting in a desert somewhere getting ready to be turned into a bomb to come back and attack us or the UK or Europe? We don't know. Now there are 11 missing Libyan airliners. Libya, Benghazi. The ISIS terrorists have large territory in this whole region. And now we're missing off the face of the earth. Nobody knows where they are or what they're being converted into. People, this is some real scary stuff. These could be brought all at once at a low-level flight so it doesn't get picked up on radar. 11 airliners coming across 100 feet above the ocean, come all the way across the ocean, and there'll be too many as they rise up to crash into stuff. There will be too many for the Air Force to defend against because it will be too sudden. Folks, we got some bills to pay. Please stay with us. We got a guest coming on in a little bit. He's always a blast to have on. It makes for great conversation. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Tom O'Halloran.
We'll put a boot in your ass. It's the American way. All brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue. Of my red, white, and blue.
Welcome back. Welcome back. This is the Wednesday night edition of Patriot Radio with Tom O'Halloran. And if you're just tuning in, fear not, I am that Tom O'Halloran. Just wanted to let everybody know we're having some issues in the studio with our Ustream server, so there will be no video for the rest of the show. Well, there wasn't any for the first part of the show either, I guess. But anyway, we're going to be joined now by a good friend of mine, Bill Perryman. He's a great patriot. He's a great Texan and a good all-around guy to know. He's very knowledgeable and very, very passionate about what has been going on here in America. Bill, are you with me, my friend?
Am I with you, Tom?
There he is. How are you doing, brother?
All right. I'm doing well. God bless Texas.
God bless Texas indeed. Brother, will you give us your contact information so when people hear your insight and wisdom, they will be able to follow you and find you?
Oh, it's just that Bill Perryman.
That's Bill,
on Twitter.
P-E-R. Go ahead and spell it out for him, brother.
Bill Perryman, Periman.
There you go. All right. What do you think about the missing planes? Nothing could happen from 11 missing planes from a terrorist country, right?
Yeah.
I'm just being paranoid. I'm sure of it.
Well, it's not just that. It's our open border. We don't know what's walking in here, much less flying in here. And I talked to you today earlier about that radar. I still cannot find out if we have radar to the south or not.
Yeah. Well, this article that I mentioned about the plane, that was already on TomO'Halloran.com, folks. Write that down, TomO'Halloran.com. It was already posted there by Veronica Coffin. Did I mention she's my editor? Awesome editor.
Awesome.
So I already knew the planes were missing. What I wasn't aware of is that what you had told me, that there's talk that Obama has turned our radars away from looking out over the oceans, over Mexico, watching for flights. Now, even if it's on for most of the time, just the fact that he's thinking about this, let's back that up. Even if he wasn't thinking or talking about doing it, this is Barack Hussein Obama, who has done everything he can possibly do. And I'm going to go through a list. I got about 20 things here that he's done to absolutely destroy and dismantle our military, which is there to protect us. But even if we were still having our radar looking for planes or missiles or whatever coming to America, if 11 planes were going to come at us on a certain date, say the 11th of this month,
Yeah.
would it be a stretch of the imagination to think that Obama might have a drill and maybe turn those radars around and let's calibrate the radar looking over American airspace for, let's say, 3 hours from midnight to 3 a.m.?
That would do it.
It could all be turned off in a heartbeat. And he wouldn't even have to do it. Here's why. He's got 7 people in his administration, high advisors in top secret positions. These people have access to every circuit, to every video camera, to every weapon system along our coastline, to every port. They could easily turn off all radar, even if Obama did want to protect America, which we know he doesn't. But even if he did, he's got people in place that know how to dismantle everything, turn it all off, call it a fluke, call it an overloaded system. The whole eastern seaboard goes down.
Power outage. And also, Tom, I have never seen an administration with so many Muslims in it.
No, absolutely not. And they all seem nice, but we talk about that on every Friday night. Of course they're going to seem nice. They're not going to get any power in this country if they come up holding their signs, behead all infidels. They don't do that until they have a lot of them here. They want to destroy us from the inside. And that's not my words, that's their words. Those are from the Muslim Brotherhood documents. So sure, Obama, hire these people into your administration. Give them America's top secrets. Let them advise our trainers for the CIA and the FBI on what not to look for.
Right.
And that's what they're doing.
Yes, sir. Yesterday,
people call me a cynic. I think I'm a realist.
Yeah. I remember yesterday, I do believe, was the final day of Detroit's bankruptcy. And remember, Obama said, we will not let them go bankrupt. But yesterday, they went bankrupt.
If you like your Detroit, you can keep your Detroit.
Yeah.
More or less, right?
Well, it seems to me like he's working real hard to make Cincinnati, Philadelphia, Chicago, and a few other cities suburbs of Detroit.
Absolutely. Stockton went under, I think last year, maybe the year before that, Stockton, California. Smaller, yep. But I mean, it's central to the Central Valley, which this administration turned the water off, let thousands of farming families starve, let hundreds of thousands of acres of the most fertile land in America go dead because there's a 1-inch long fish that could be endangered. So they turned the water off. You can't run water into the canals and water this land. So it's a shame. If you haven't seen it, Google it. Google Central Valley, California Central Valley water issue. Hundreds of thousands of acres that was the most fertile, the most lush, the most productive farmland in America is now open wasteland. It's sickening.
And the name of that fish is a smelt.
Yeah, it's just a simple little nothing fish. It's nothing worth saving. Certainly not worth putting one farmer out of work for. And he's destroyed a whole state. And shame on California for going along with it. By God, if I'm a governor and the federal government tells me that I have to put 10,000 farmers out of work and turn hundreds of thousands of acres of farmland, I would tell the federal government, get out of my state. I would close every federal office in the state, and I would kick every marshal, every one of them, every federal employee out of the state. We may not be able to cede the union, but by golly, they're not going to come in and destroy my state. Let's talk about the military for a little bit. Were you a vet, my friend?
No, sir, I wasn't.
Okay. But we all respect the military. We all respect the veterans that served. We love what they do. We respect the sacrifices they and their families have made.
To keep us free.
And keep us free. And little bit by little bit, and that's how they do it. Obama doesn't just come out on day one of his inauguration and say, I'm going to cut the military by this, I'm going to cut the bases by this, I'm going to reduce our stockpiles by this, I'm going to do this by this. There isn't a whole plan laid out, and certainly not in his campaign speeches, God help him. But let's take a look back at what he has done to destroy, literally destroy, the forces that keep us free. A new VA training guide compares our precious military veterans to Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah.
So medical techs reading these manuals will now think, oh, here comes these grumpy guys always complaining. They're complaining because they have their legs blown off. They've got fractured skulls. They're complaining because they need help. You worthless bastards at the VA. And I want to go on record right here. I've said it before. It's on record on the show. My solution to the VA is very simple, folks. You fire every single person that works at the VA. Phase it through. Of course, we can't shut the building down. But from janitor to director of every single facility, there should be a veteran filling the role.
Exactly.
The veterans need the work. The veterans deserve the work. And by God, the veterans get it. They're not going to look at a veteran and say, oh, here comes Oscar the Grouch.
Exactly.
It's a real simple solution. You want veterans to get care from people that care? Put veterans in the roles. From janitor to desk clerk to security guard to doctor, psychiatrist. Every role in the VA should be a veteran. And shame on the people that built this organization for not thinking of it. It's a pretty darn simple idea if you ask me.
It's the way it should have been done to start with. And
Exactly.
now, as I understand, he's also replaced our military chaplain with a Muslim.
Oh, yeah, we've got Muslim chaplains. We've got non-denominational chaplains that are atheists. What the hell do you need a chaplain for if you don't believe in anything? What the hell does this guy do? What is his job? You're feeling sad and blue? Go look at the sky, dude. Oh, okay, back onto the list. Oscar the Grouch. Military veterans have repeatedly been labeled by Obama, by the Homeland Security, as potential terrorists in official government documents during the Obama years. These guys are coming back from protecting us, from putting their very life on the line. And you're going to call them potential terrorists because they don't like dictators, because they're used to running dictators out of countries?
Yes.
The VA, during the Obama administration, has been in charge. While the Obama administration has been in charge, Senator Tom Corbin's report says that well over 1,000 veterans may have died while waiting for health care. It may be well over 1,000 of them. This is insane. At one point during the Obama administration, it was taking more than a half year for the average claim for veterans to be processed. And the Department of Veterans Affairs has a backlog of more than 500,000 overdue claims for the benefits that are all at least 125 days old.
Well, they may need to.
Go ahead.
They may need to change over to that computer system that they're using in the schools, that they have already enrolled something like 30,000 illegals.
Yeah. They're doing real well on that. Of course, those are the local organizations in the states. The federal government couldn't manage a lemonade stand, Bill. You know it, and I know it.
Yeah.
Thanks to budget cuts, the Obama administration has gleefully pushed for a lot of very good career officers to be forced out of the military. Earlier this month, it was reported that 500 Army majors and 1,100 Army captains were getting pink slips. Many of these people get the pink slips while they are in combat.
In active duty.
In active duty. You're over in the desert, you're dodging bullets, and somebody says, hey, dude, you're getting out. You're being fired, man.
Yep.
Because Obama doesn't care, he doesn't have a heart, and he doesn't have a soul.
No, sir,
During his administration, dozens of high-ranking officers, over 200 of them, generals and admirals, have been purged from the military. Many of them were known to disagree with Obama on both both military and political, that being the openly gay in the military. If you disagreed with that, if you didn't want to have your men kissing in public, holding hands as they marched, then Obama would force you out of your job. It's disgusting. Just in the second term, the Army is being reduced by a total of 60,000 soldiers. The size of the Air Force is going to be reduced by 500 planes over the next 5 years. According to Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis, the Air Force had more than twice as many squadrons as it does today. We're half the size in squadrons that we used to be. Our tanker aircraft are average 47 years old, and the strategic bombers are 34 years old. And the numbers are totally insufficient for the missions. Our Air Force shrank from 82 fighter squadrons at the end of the Cold War to 39 now. That's less than half. And the Navy's in even worse shape. The Navy's already the smallest it's ever been since World War II. And he's repeatedly used the military as a tool to advance the cause of political correctness. We talked about the gays in the military. Now he's trying to figure out how he can get transsexuals in the military. We're firing all these good people so that you can put these freaks and these homosexuals in charge of defending our country. The last thing President Obama wants is our country protected. The last thing he wants is to have strong, moral men in charge of defending our country because they would, because they could. One of the criteria as he was purging his generals is, how do you feel, Bob, about taking an order to turn your weapons on the American people? And if you disagreed, you would be furloughed. My friends, I'm running a little bit long. Please stay with us. We've got a lot more coming up. Bill, will you stay with me, brother?
Roger that.
Folks, we'll be right back. Tom O'Halloran, holding the line against tyranny from Washington, D.C.
I am America. One voice, united we stand. I am America. One hope to heal our land. There is still work that must be done. I will not rest until we've won. I am America.
Welcome back. This is Patriot Radio with Tom O'Halloran on every Tuesday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We also do Jihad on America Fridays at the same time. Tonight, we've got a special guest, my good friend, Patriot brother, Bill Perryman. Bill, are you still with me?
Still here, Tom.
All right, good to hear. All right, so we were going through a list of things that Obama has done in the past 5 years to annihilate our military. He's done more damage to the military than ISIS, the Taliban, and the Russians over the last 100 years.
Yeah.
In an incredibly reckless move, he left billions of dollars worth of weapons, military equipment in Iraq. This is now in the hands of ISIS. Our own weapons are in the hands of the people that are destined to kill our people. It's incredible that the thought of that very high technology falling into the hands of people that we've trained. And by the way, Bill, the synapse is firing kind of randomly tonight. Those Libyan planes that just went missing.
Uh-huh.
Do you
Yes.
recall last week we had a story on that Obama was doing an executive order to allow Libyan military to come in and learn military training from our country, pilot training and the likes. So we're giving weapons and planes and training and all this stuff to the very people that have sworn their goal is to kill us. I don't see anything that could go wrong with this. No, I'm just being paranoid. Okay, I mean, it's one thing people to say, don't give them guns, they might kill us. But these people have told us we are going to kill all the Jews. We are going to kill all the infidels. Oh, here, take some rocket launchers. Here's a couple of tanks. The lunatics are running the asylum. It's absolutely mind-boggling. It's like a bad dream, the kind of dream where nothing makes sense, and yet it happens day after day after day after day. We were talking earlier about the social experiments in the military, letting the openly gay serve, not just serve and yes, I'm gay, but actually walking on base. Two guys can be walking across, holding hands or kissing in the quad. It's mind-boggling that this kind of behavior would be allowed in the military. And as a result, sexual assaults in the military have soared to an all-time high, and most of the assaults have been men-on-men rape. Most of the assaults have been men on men. Men didn't get raped before, and I'm not saying men raping men is worse than men raping women. I'm not saying that. Rape is rape. Rape is evil. Rape is about power. But this is a whole class of rape that wasn't an issue. Because if you raped somebody, that meant you were gay and you were automatically exited from the military. And now it's happening and the rape is prevalent. In some areas of the country, VA Veterans Affairs offices have been caught red-handed, banning the words God and Jesus from funeral services for veterans. Absolutely insane. These people go over there and do that. They're Christians. It's in their file. You know they're Christians or they're Jews. And to refuse them the words God or Jesus at their funeral is insane. Veterans under Obama, for the first time in history, veterans are being charged to get their medals. You want a Purple Heart because you lost your leg? Okay, send us $21 and we'll send you your Purple Heart. Who thinks this crap up?
I hadn't heard that one.
Oh, yeah. No, it's happening. Mental illness. They come back with PTSD or something like this. Now, I understand it. If somebody is truly mentally ill, precautions have to be made. But they are broadening the definition of mentally ill. Just being depressed is called a mental illness now. So that if you're depressed, therefore you're mentally ill, therefore turn in your weapons. You are no longer allowed to have a gun. Veterans by the thousands are being declared mentally ill with a very, very broad stroke. You're sad sometimes? Oh, that's an illness. I'm sorry. Here, take these meds. Next thing you know, somebody's knocking at your door to collect your weapons. Oh, it just goes on and on and on.
It does seem with Obama. It's never ending. He's bastardized our military and perverted a nation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Appointed half of his appointees to ambassadorships have been gays. We now have the gay flag flying over embassies all over the world. Disgusting is what it is. He goes around the world giving his speeches trying to force other countries to be gay, to support homosexual activities. Folks, we have another break. Bill, when we come back, it's going to be open phone. I want your story to be the topic for the final segment. All right, brother?
All right, sir.
I was going to wait and spin it on you when you had to think online. And folks, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Tom O'Halloran has a not-so-common core spelling lesson for the Obama administration. Ready? There is no K in America.
There's kids that can't pray in school, $100 tanks of gas. I can tell you right now, this country ain't supposed to be like that. No, that ain't my America. That ain't this country's roots. You wanna slam, hold on to Sam, but I ain't letting you. Yeah, I'm mad as hell, and you know I still bleed red, white, and blue. They ain't us, and that ain't my America. Oh no, that ain't my America. No, 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 no. That ain't my America. Oh no.
Welcome back. This is the Wednesday night edition of Patriot Radio, and I am your host, Tom O'Halloran. On the phone with us is Bill Perryman, a good friend of mine, a patriot, an outstanding, to use a George Bushism, an outstanding keeper-upper with the news. And I do appreciate you being in the show. I appreciate you on Twitter. I appreciate your support over the past many months, brother. Before we go into your topic, I want to make one little note. We were talking just before the break about expanding the definition of mentally ill, disorders. Everything is a freaking disorder these days. Veronica Coffin, my dear friend and editor of all of the many websites, I think there's 75 websites or something now. She was mentioning when she went to the VA, they wrote in her file that she has an anxiety disorder because she mentioned to a doctor she doesn't like needles. Who in the world likes needles? Are these
I'm
people
allergic.
insane?
I'm allergic to needles.
I really don't, Oh, jeez. Absolutely nuts. Anyway, what would you like to talk about, my friend?
Well, sir, have you ever heard of Claire Lopez, former Central Intelligence person?
The name sounds familiar, very familiar.
Well, she quit the agency. She was a Middle East expert, and she has a great article that WND put out. She has literally said that Barack Obama has changed sides in the war on terror. But she said something.
There's no question.
Well, but what else she says is even more mind-boggling is that when those constitutions of Iraq and Afghanistan, the constitutions were written, that our government, the United States, helped them establish the Sharia law in their constitutions.
Wow.
We don't do that. I mean, that's like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I mean, that blew my mind. But she says that also that the Obama administration began siding with such jihadist groups as the Muslim Brotherhood and its affiliates. And sadly, she also says the Bush administration did it as well.
I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised. George Bush loved America. He was a patriot, but he's done some things that were not very well thought out. He had some people in his inner circle that brought the Muslims in, and a lot of damage was done in that vein. Absolutely.
Now,
and there's no question we've oftentimes backed a regime that turned out, once they got in power, they became dictators. We picked the wrong sides fairly frequently. When both conservatives and Democrats have been in office, it's not our strong suit, picking sides, okay? Let's put that out there. But we have never sided with evil. We've never said, these guys are murdering people and wiping their whole genocide on their very own people. Let's go and support them.
Yeah,
it's always been trying to overturn one regime in the hopes. We've failed. We've been wrong. But it was always in the hopes that these next people will be good and will work with us. But we've never backed and endorsed and sided with evil. But we do now. We do now. And it's not maybe. We do now. I mean, the whole ISIS thing. Did you know that over the last couple of weeks, Egypt and the United Arab Emirates have been attacking ISIS? No, you didn't know it because we're not part of it.
We're not part of it.
We're not part of it. You know why? Because we back ISIS. Why would they tell us when Obama is backing the very people that they want to kill? Obama doesn't want to kill ISIS. We give them weapons. We give them money. So, Egypt and the United Arab Emirates secretly, for the first time in history, America, we have been a proud, strong, respected nation. No country would declare a war on another country without touching base with America. This is what we want to do. Is this okay? Saddam Hussein did it when he wanted to attack the first time in, where did he roll into?
Kuwait.
In Kuwait. He checked with us and he was given a green light by the Clinton administration. For the first time in history, two countries got together in a region where we have people deployed, and they decided on a mission to attack. And Obama was not even consulted.
Yeah.
That's groundbreaking. We are not respected. Obama keeps saying we are more respected now than ever. You're not even consulted by the very Muslims that you claim to be brothers with.
Yep.
But UAE pilots flying out of Egyptian air bases at least twice targeted Islamist fighters vying for control over Tripoli. U.S. officials found out about it, as Obama always says, by watching the news. But here's what it is. They're fighting over Tripoli. They're fighting over Libya. Well, gee whiz, who was it that destabilized Libya? Yeah.
No more.
Barack Hussein Obama. He is an Islamist sympathizer. It was Obama that went into Libya and armed the Islamist militants and provided them with air support. Look at the results. The 2012 attack on Benghazi that killed Ambassador Chris Stevens, Sean Smith, Ty Woods, and Glenn Doherty. We just abandoned the U.S. Embassy this last week. And the Islamists are partying in our embassy.
Jumping in the pool.
It's absolutely insane. We are the most disrespected that we have ever been. I'm going to have to go look for that article on WMD. It sounds like a great article. And yeah, she's absolutely right on the money. We are fighting on the side of evil. We should give up We should give up the stars and stripes and show them who we really side with and fly the black flag, because that's who Obama is fighting for.
It does appear so. It does appear so.
I mean, good golly. It's absolutely insane.
What was it he said? If the winds of change happen, he would side with the Muslims?
Yep. Every time. And the UAE is fighting against the terrorists whose home base is in Qatar.
Right.
Gee, who does Obama support? Qatar.
That's where he sent 5
Exactly.
Generals of the terrorists.
Exactly. He's been embracing and supporting Qatar, who is the largest financer of the Muslim Brotherhood in history. All the Islamists, including ISIS, get most of their money out of Qatar. And that's where he released these terrorists to. It's a bad, bad dream. Bill, brother, I appreciate you more than you can know. And we will have to make a regular thing of this. We'll make arrangements offline, brother. Will you do that?
Sure will, Tom.
All right, brother. Thank you. Folks, it's time to do it. It's time to take the gloves off and fight. There's a lot of people out there trying to destroy America, and either we engage them now or we accept that we're willing to turn an Islamist states of America over to our kids and grandkids. And I am not ready to do that. Good night, America. God bless you and yours. This is Tom O'Halloran. I'm out.